Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Premier League show here on Patreon. Another action-packed weekend of wonderful... Oh, no, it wasn't wonderful, was it? It was...
Other people will have thought it was wonderful.
Other people that are not Evertonians would think it was wonderful.
And probably Watford fans wouldn't have thought it was
wonderful. I don't think Watford fans are bothered. There was a Christmas light switch on in Watford, I believe, so that probably took a lot of
probably just weren't bothered about them, but when they seen we'd lost...
they probably made up. Again, that's what I'm saying. People everywhere are delighted by Everton. Yeah. So it's all good for them. Yeah. We discussed last week on the Footy Show Mourinho's return for into the Premier League. Obviously for Tottenham, they went to West Ham, which I suppose if you want to start off your season in the right way, you play West Ham, who are as much as we're worried about our situation. West Ham, they're an absolute shit show.
They're like us.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're us, aren't they? They're having a bad time of it as well, aren't they? I mean, they must be poor because they come to Goodison and we look like Brazil against them, so they must be bad. Listen, West Ham are West Ham, aren't they? They bought in the summer people. I remember Evertonians losing the shit over their signings when they got Haller and when they got 4-0s. That's what we should be doing. Some. Not obviously all. And they're still West Ham. They're just they're a team that on the day can turn up. I mean, I thought they'd give him a game this weekend because they're all right at home. Not great. They're all right.
They lost the last 3 at home. 3 out of the last 4, sorry.
No, but I'm saying, so whatever, the biggest mistake, and, I think this is a worry for us, but the biggest mistake for them was moving to that fucking ground. Because it's been all downhill since they left Upton Park. If they were on that last season at Upton Park, they had Billets and they had Pyatt and they finished 5th or 6th, whatever it was. They were playing some really good football. Yeah. It was difficult to go there, a tight ground.
It was.
And they've gone to this stadium that...
It's not their stadium.
It isn't their ground. It's a pitch just in the middle of an athletic stadium, so there's distance from the pitch. It's a nice playing surface, so... All of that hostility you used to get at West Ham isn't there now.
Dissipates.
The old cattle run and all that. It's all gone. You go in there, you get through the first 10 or 15 minutes there. The crowd, and the way they're playing, the crowd, a bit like us, the crowd get edgy quite quickly.
I think another thing with the crowd as well, though, is because it is 55 to 60,000. They're not all West Ham fans.
No.
They can't attract that kind of
people. People going to football, Premier League football, isn't it?
It's a day out, isn't it?
I mean, West Ham probably would get 45,000. They used to get 34 all the time.
Yeah, I'm not having to go West Ham, I'm just...
But it's in that situation the way it is. And they had that neutral section a few years ago and that caused uproar. And they're not happy with their owners.
No, of course they're not. They're not happy. Their fans are not happy.
They're just not happy.
We know that. They're not happy. They're like us, except they're obviously a small club.
And they've got that manager in charge,
Mr. Gray.
When people went on about maybe Everton getting him, it's this is the thing with him. He's uninspiring.
But they have got the same problems we've got, and it's basically the problem is that they're running before they can walk. Yeah. And I think that's one of the problems we've got. We're playing something about us, but is that they've tried, and it's difficult because in the Premier League there's so much money. You just think like that. Oh, I need to do that, and I need to do that. And like you said though, the players they've bought aren't bad players. It's just that. Again, this is something teams tend to do in the Premier League: is that they tend to buy 1 or 2 good players and forget that all the rest are dross, and then don't understand why. Seb Haller's not scoring goals. Well, because he's not. He's a striker who relies on service and relies on getting the ball into the box and things like that. And for me, they're they're in a bit of their problems are obviously at the back as well. The goalkeeper at the moment, Roberto's horrendous. I mean, Son's shot, he is a hologram. It's the equivalent of having Stecklenberg in goal. It's ridiculous the drop off. They had, one of the reasons they were doing all right was their goalie was good, and he's out now he's going to be out till the new year. And the drop off, and then if you don't, you haven't got that safety at the back. But Tottenham obviously raced into a 2-0 lead, got the third just after half time. Then they they scored a couple of goals like they did against Newcastle. Later on, make the score look a bit more respectable. But they've been beaten now in the last. I think Palace beat them at home. Then they came to us and got beat, and they got a draw against Burnley at home. Sheffield United at home. Then playing Newcastle, they got beat. Playing now Tottenham and got beat.
They're just on a bad run, aren't they? 1 win in 7, I think it is. So.
But for Spurs, Mourinho, good result, good win. He said afterwards, it's good to have music back in the dressing room. He said that's the first time for a year. And I think those little things he's shining a light on. Someone's obviously said to him, what were the problems? And that's an interesting one, that, isn't it? Like things like that. The dressing room not being the players' domain and the manager demanding things like that. I think maybe that's where Pochettino's obviously gone wrong, hasn't he? Little things like that.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because everyone, it's like when you get a builder in to your house or whatever, or some joiner comes in and someone else has done a job. We've done this for you.
Yeah.
And they're already commenting on, I wouldn't do it like that, or and all this. You're gonna get that with every manager. They're gonna come in and go, he wouldn't let them do this, and he wouldn't let them, but I'm gonna. And yet Mourinho can be the most pedantic of them all. Yeah, of course he can. So, but you're right, it will shine a light on the Pochettino thing. Obviously, a lot of people want him. A lot of people are talking about him because he's out of work now. He'll have his way of doing things. Yeah. Whether it's the right way, who knows? But it's a great start for Mourinho.
Good start for Mourinho. Pellegrini, obviously, under pressure. One of 3 managers really under big pressure in the Premier League. The other being Emery at Arsenal. They drew 2-2 with Southampton, who took the lead twice in this game. Arsenal had to come back late, scored an equaliser in the 96th minute, which they didn't even celebrate. Emery's under a lot of pressure, isn't he, really, now?
He is, but they're 2 points off Europe?
Well, they are, but they're only 4 points above us.
No, I'm not. It's all, again, we spoke about this before, didn't we, off camera, it's perception with a lot of stuff of how it's going. They're not playing well. Is this a case of, careful what you wish for? They wanted... Wenger was there for such a long time, playing a certain brand of football, getting so far up the ladder, but couldn't quite get over the line. And that, to me, was due to poor recruitment at Arsenal.
I think the problems at Arsenal are the same problems that they've been under Wenger, though.
I was going to say, poor recruitment, and yet that's still happening. It's still happening. They went in the summer, they needed young, instead of building from the back, he paid 70 million for Pepe, who... I see loads of Arsenal comments, and it's all like, Iwobi's miles better. Why have we spent money on him?
It's not even that,
though, is it? Buy 2 defenders.
I'm going to say, they've already got Lacazette and Aubameyang, right? So they've already got 2 of the best centre-forwards, if not in the Premier League, in Europe, and they were crap. So what does that tell you about where the problems lie at Arsenal? And yet, poor recruitment, stuff on the board and all that kind of stuff seems to be the real issue.
It does, but they've still spent about 90 million in the summer, right? Which is a lot of money, same as us, right? A lot of money.
Is that a lot of money anymore, though?
Well, all right, for Arsenal.
No, I'm just saying, is that a lot of money now?
It's a decent amount of money, isn't it? It's a decent amount of money. And yet, the worse than they were last season. So if you look at them and you go, right, well, what are the issues? Well, the issues weren't scoring goals, because like you just said, they've got 2 brilliant strikers. Aubameyang got 20-odd, Lacazette got 20-odd last season. Goals aren't a problem. Okay, maybe service is a problem, but you can get round that by playing certain ways. But what is an issue for them is conceding goals. And they brought in David Luiz, who at best is a defensive midfield player, sitting in front of your back 2. He's not a centre-back. And they're still having issues at the back. Their defence is awful. Yeah. They've got Kieran Tierney, who's just got into the side. He's all right.
He give a penalty.
He give a pen away from Arsenal, but he's all right. He's got a decent left foot on him. He's finding his way in the Premier League. I think he'll go on to be a good player. Bellerin is hot and cold, but come on off a serious injury, so he's nowhere near up to speed. Centre-back position's terrible for them. Centre midfield is poor.
Yeah.
It's really poor. Ozil is in and out and around about and 300 grand a week and whatever. They lost Ramsey, we said this last season, one of the most important players. So you look at that Arsenal team and you go, if you can keep the front, it's difficult, but if you can keep the front two.
Well, Ozil played in this, Lacazette played, and Aubameyang goal started. So that's your front three straight away. They played three at the back. Tierney and Bellerin played as wing backs. But like you just said, I go back to those three at the back. Chambers, Luis and Socrates as your back three. But I also look at that team and look at it in terms of leaders. And where's your leaders? No, where are your leaders? I don't know.
Who was in midfield?
Guendouzi and Torreira were your central two. So there's and Ozil in front. I mean, so but where's your leaders in that team? Who was, you know, I would imagine it probably is it Aubameyang is the captain at the moment.
He's the captain.
So you know, where's your leaders? And I think they've got the same problems we've got.
Guendouzi's about the only one for them who stands up and counted, and he's only a kid.
Torreira's all right.
Torreira's all right.
He started all right. He's been went out with injuries, didn't he?
He wants to go to Italy. He wants to go back in.
No, I know.
So you know, there's no harmony at Arsenal, and that's the thing. And obviously, whether you rate Emery or you don't rate him,
it's a good point for Southampton. Let me say
that's a great point.
Who've lost 8 games already, but that's only one more than Everton, and that just tells you everything you need to know. By the way, they're on 9 points now. Arsenal are on 18 points, a point ahead of Tottenham, a point ahead of Man United. And that's the mad thing. They're in 8th, Man United in 9th, and Tottenham are in 10th.
It's been a crazy season.
It's been just shite, hasn't it? Moving on, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 2. Great win for Wolves. Again, they're starting to flex.
Just before we went on, we can talk about Ryan Burton, quick thinking for
Ings
goals, a foul, and he got up straight away, switched on, played Ings in a lovely little finish.
Danny Ings is doing well. Now he's got having a little bit of run, no injuries, he's scoring goals.
He's scoring goals, yes.
Would he be one that someone... I don't know whether I wouldn't say a top side, but is he someone that, if he could stay fit, that... Could get goals in, you know, and if someone above them, a European... chasing team, I'm trying desperately not to say Everton here, by the way, would look at if he could stay fit.
Yeah, I mean, he knows where the net is, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But I don't know whether just on his, whether he's good enough as in a 1.
Not a 1, I mean, I'm not saying in a 1.
But he knows he's definitely a handful.
He's a goal scorer.
He's a poacher, isn't he? So why not?
His lady friend's from Liverpool, isn't she?
Is she?
Just saying. I'm not genuinely though. If he could stay fit, he's essentially what Everton could do with.
Experienced as well, now, hasn't he?
Yeah. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 2, as I said.
Yeah.
Wolves got goals in 21st and 31st minutes. Francis was then sent off for Bournemouth, which again, I've not seen this. I've never seen this before. Genuinely never seen this before unless VAR is involved. A player, the game being allowed to play on. And a player being sent off afterwards. I always thought that the rules were, if someone was getting sent off, they had to be sent off there and then. I always thought that was the rules.
I didn't, and that was the one thing on Saturday why I thought Snidland wasn't sent off in our game, because he was on a book and he dragged the puck, he should have been sent off. He let play go on.
I don't know whether the rules been changed because of VAR, because if they're saying, well, if you can be sent off after the fact with VAR, why can't you be sent off after the fact? And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Why should the referee punish a team by stopping
if you're on a break
just to send someone off? Just let it go and then send them off afterwards.
Well, in this game,
double jeopardy.
Two brilliant free kicks by Wolves. Moutinho's, shot whipped over the wall and into the far corner, brilliantly dipped right under the bar. It was a great goal. And then the second one, I mean, Bournemouth's defending. People go on about Eddie Howe for Everton. Jeez. He is English Martinez. The defending for the second goal. I mean, Adama Traore is quick, don't get me wrong, but there's just a gap. He just put the ball down, played the ball inside the fullback, he crosses it, Jimenez near post.
Have you ever played that game on like a little app game where you have to draw the line? Right, that's essentially what he does. He draws the line between the two players, and
then
no one's onto it. No one. And you're right. They're the things. That's like training grounds. I mean, in fact, that's not even training ground stuff. That stuff when you're 9, you learn. Like if there's a wall or there's someone unmarked, you go over to them. You know it's going to happen.
Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's a great goal by Jimenez, though.
Lovely run and a great finish with the outside of the foot near post. Just a proper striker's goal in the right area. Great ball across. Just a little message for Seamus Coleman if he's watching. Just do that. Just don't take 3 touches. Just roll it across. And it was touched in by Jimenez and 2-0. Obviously, Francis got sent off stupidly. And then Bournemouth get a goal from a set piece, don't they?
Yeah. But Wolves currently playing 3-4-3, or they did on Saturday, with Jota, Jimenez and Traore as a front 3 away from home. I mean, that's what you've got to do, isn't it? Jimenez has now got 6 Premier League goals this season in 13 games. He's also got 2 in Europe.
It's mad him because he was 7 goals and 8 goals a season in Portugal. And he's come to the Premier League and he got 15 or something last season. And he's got 6 already.
Just matured, hasn't he? And
playing in
the right system.
Doing well.
Good handful up front.
Yeah, he's a good player.
But Wolves they come out the trap slowly, which was expected because of trying to get into Europe. But they're now in 5th, 7 points behind Chelsea. We're in 4th place, but with 19 points already. I mean, they've only actually lost 2 games. One of them was to Everton. The shame.
Drawn loads, haven't they? Drawn 7, haven't they?
Drawn 7, and they've won exactly the same amount as us, though, which is mad. It's don't get beat. Don't get beat.
We said a lot of times if we'd nick points at Burnley and Brighton and even Saturday and things like that, we'd be halfway up the table.
You'd be disappointed with some of the games. But don't get beat. They're brilliant at going away, like especially away, going away and nicking a late goal. They're clearly fitter than most.
Scored loads in injury time, loads of time.
Exactly, and they also have a belief.
Yeah.
Which I don't think.
But that's the thing.
Which Everton don't have.
With Wolves, they're still on an upward trajectory. They've had that year in the Championship when they were brilliant. They had a really strong season last season. They've still got that belief.
Why shouldn't that? Why should that? See, I still you look at someone like Leicester. Obviously, we're talking about a minute. Leicester won the league on that belief, didn't he?
Yeah, but again, upward trajectory.
No, I know.
Pearson took them. They went something ridiculous from Christmas when they were down.
Yeah.
Then I think they lost 2 in 18. Finished the season strongly, stayed up, and then Ranieri took on. The players were still in.
Why should you ever not be on an upward trajectory as a football team? Isn't that like?
Could be the manager.
No, but isn't that like the mental side of the game? It's convincing players that they're always on the up. Isn't that half the battle? Is that you've got to you've got to just get these people in the mindset to say, we're a good team, we're going that way. No, don't stop today.
Did you read the Klopp thing the other day?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
So he's talking about that, isn't he? He talks about when they're behind.
Yeah.
Liverpool obviously don't like going behind, but when we're behind, they have the belief. All of the players have the belief that we can still win it and turn it around, which is what you see. They equalise and go and get, Saturday, Palace game.
Within 4 minutes. Which you'll talk about in a minute.
Back on. So it is a belief. I've just finished the Maradona documentary in Mexico, and he goes into Dorados who are bottom. He goes in as the manager, and they do well, and they're going, these players are not very good, and all of a sudden they're winning. And it's that belief. It is the mental side of the game. So if you've got either a motivator, and what you have to do is, what good teams have, is that belief that you can come. Moyes had it, really. Yeah. Moyes' team had it, where it was we always believed we could still stay in the game. We won games late on, didn't we?
I read the piece, and I think I've mentioned I read a piece in The Athletic about Wolves, and it was about...
Oh, yeah.
It was about when they went to the European game, and how they recuperated, and how they had all these little tiny things, like different clothes they wore, and recovery, different all kinds. And I think a lot of what of that stuff does, whether you believe marginal gains, which I do believe in marginal gains, I think they're a huge thing in sport now. But I think that the mental side, if I said to you now, and I went, right, I've got these 2 sets of clothes, right, recovery clothes, One's for the plane and one's for like when you get home or whatever. But they were exactly the same. You'd go, oh yeah, give us that.
Placebo.
Exactly, it's that effect that you're, but it's also the effect that you're going, Gaffer, God, he knows, he's looking at everything. And you're like, there might be exactly the same thing. And it's, but he's like, this fella.
Placebo.
This fella wants me. Oh, I'm knackered. But you know what? This fella wants me fit for Saturday and for Sunday, and I will be fit because he's doing everything to make me fit, and that means I'll do everything to make myself fit. And again, it's that mental thing, isn't it? If you tell a footballer that they're tired, they'll be tired. If you tell them that there's a big game on Sunday and they've got to play, they'll play. They'll play. We all do it in our normal lives, don't we?
Don't give people excuses.
We all do it, though, don't we? If someone said to you, no, tomorrow you've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, you'd be like, fucking hell. But if I said, no, tomorrow you've got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we're going to Disneyland, you'd be like, yes, 5 o'clock in the morning, I will be, get me up at 5, I can run, go for a run at 5 tomorrow. It's mental, it's all mental, isn't it? It all comes down.
Exactly the same situation, but if you're doing, and again, that Klopp thing was the same, it's all little, as he said, it's just add-ons, you know, we've got psychologists doing this, and this doing, you know, surfers coming in and bloody all sorts.
Well, Liverpool said they've got a new thing, haven't they? They've got a new psychologist at Liverpool. Because what's in that article?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That Lee Richardson.
Yeah. But what the difference is, and Klopp got rid of the last one, didn't he? But the difference was the last one was trying to be like part of the training, coaching side, whereas he said this fella's coming in part-time, comes in.
He knows 3 times.
Yeah, and he's like, basically, he knows he's a side guy, where the last fella thought he was part of the team, and Klopp was like, no, not having. I mean, I you know, he has throwing coaches and all that, but
he's the psychologist, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's what you get from that, is that he's the psychologist. He's not the big tactics guy. He does do them, but he's not the big tactics guy. He's the psychologist.
Leicester, as we've just mentioned, went down to Brighton and beat them 2-0. Good win for them. They're currently in second place. They've won 9, drawn 2, lost 2, 29 points. They've basically got 2 points less than what Brendan Rodgers had, what they had when Brendan Rodgers came in was it February, which is remarkable.
They're also a point ahead of when they won the league,
which is incredible. Goals from Perez and Vardy. Perez, again, it was a Brighton corner, and they committed every single man by the looks of it.
They all went. Leicester, I think, left 2 up off a Brighton corner.
That's interesting, isn't it?
So therefore, but Brighton went man for man and lost the ball. And so they broke. And they'd had one a couple of minutes before, and Perez messed it up. Vardy raced through him, squared it to him, and he messed it up, really. And that should have been the warning sign for them, and it wasn't. A few minutes later, the exact same thing, and they broke, and this time Perez put it in, and you know, you're 1-0 down, that's it. It's Leicester are flying, so they only need that first goal, and then they get a penalty, which is a bit soft, to say the least.
I mean, as you said, Vardy, having that pace of someone like Vardy up front is huge, and then they get the penalty, it's saved, Maddison heads it in, the VAR checks it, and yeah, I mean, he's encroached, but someone else did, a Brighton player's encroached.
Did as well.
And yeah, but if Vardy had scored the penalty and he'd encroached, would they have made him take it again?
If they'd have looked at it, yeah. He should have to retake it.
Vardy did take it again and scored.
He
and
scored.
2-0, and he's on an amazing run. And they're on an amazing run, sitting second place.
Winning games.
9 wins.
I mean, that's just fantastic, isn't it?
Same as City, but they've obviously lost 1 less, which they drew.
Flying, aren't they? Absolutely flying. Fair play to them. Going out and beating what's in front of them. Brighton aren't very good. And I said this the other week when they beat us, that they're not a very good side. They should never have beat us.
But it's mentality again, like we've just said.
Yeah. But they not. Listen,
Rodgers has
for Leicester, they have the belief that they can win anywhere now. That belief is instilled in them through the manager. They've got results, and when you're getting results and you believe in your manager, and your players are confident, one runs into the next.
Their last 6 or 7 games, 2-0. 2-0 against Arsenal, 2-0 against Palace, 3-1 against Burton Albion, 9-0 against Southampton, 2-1 against Burnley. I mean, they're just, what, but he's just put the belief in them, hasn't he, that he can beat anybody.
It's confidence as well. Once you start winning, you're confident. We had it at the end of the season. We had the belief we could beat anyone at the end of the season, and we were. We were beating anyone, and it was never a surprise to us as fans because we were on that roll. Those last few games was like, yeah, we'll beat these. Man U will beat them, beat them 4-0. Arsenal will beat these, beat them. You know, we'll beat Burnley, we'll beat them. When you're not, now you're looking and going, no chance, can't see us win the game at the moment. You know, we had Norwich at home at the weekend, mentality again. Everton have got, from our perspective, an arrogance about them that I don't think befits them. So they come out Saturday, in my opinion, and thought these are bottom of the crap, we'll walk this, and didn't get up to the level. What Leicester are doing is Leicester have come out and go, we have to get to that level, we have to win the battle. And that was 0-0 for ages. I mean, when was it? 70 odd when they scored? Minutes, 60. So they kept going. They probably, what I've seen of Leicester is they just carry on doing
I think they've got strong characters as well. I think the likes of Vardy is a very, very strong character. Obviously, someone who's been there and won the league. They've got Kasper Schmeichel in goal, who are just, you know, whether you think he's a good goalie or not, I think he's a very strong character.
Like Johnny Evans, people like that in the squad, haven't he? They've got Ndidi, who's a good player. You know, they've got a decent side and a good manager, so they're doing very well, and good luck to them. You know, I'm jealous because it's a season that Everton, if they'd have done half things properly, we could have maybe capitalised this year, but we continue to go round in circles. So, well, backwards.
Morgan. Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Palace had a goal disallowed, controversial goal disallowed because really the lad, I mean, it's how you look at it. The lad did push the Liverpool playing in the back. Did he have a chance of getting the ball? Probably not. Went in at the far post, it was disallowed, but he did push him, so not much you can say about that. Liverpool obviously took the lead to the jammiest Mane goal you've ever seen in your life. Literally spun off the post and the spin just hit the other post and went in.
After he
Zaha scored. Zaha equalised, good finish, showing that he was a childhood Evertonian when he celebrated. And then Liverpool went down the other end of the pitch and got a goal off a corner for Firmino. And again, it's that mentality side of things, isn't it? It's the we won't be beaten. Okay, you've just scored, so what? We'll go down the other end and score. You know, again, Klopp calls it mentality monsters, he calls it. So they want it, almost. Like if we go behind or someone scores, sound, we'll react, and they do react. They want to beat teams.
They're having a lot of the rub of the green as well, but they're playing brilliantly, and so that belief goes. So you believe things are going to go your way, so that confidence allows you to do things. I mean, the second goal, it's bouncing around the penalty. It could have gone anywhere, went perfectly for Firmino when he put it in, but when you're playing well, you force that kind of good fortune your way. And it's difficult. Liverpool are on a great run. It'll be interesting if they have a bad run, but you can't, at the moment, you can't see them having a bad run. So they're winning tough games. You know, Palace away is a tricky game. They've gone and won, so fair play to them. And they're deservedly top of the league at the moment. Palace are just Palace, aren't they? They're just one of those sides that they're the handful for teams. You know, they missed some chances in this game. God, Benteke trying scissor kicks instead of just putting it in, and they missed quite a few good chances.
Funny is, the perception is Palace are having a decent season. They've got a point more than us.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
I thought they were flying.
No, they've got 15 points. Got the same goal difference as us. They've just drawn one less. They've just drawn one more game and lost one less.
It's mad.
So it's the perception is they're great, and yet they've got one more point than us.
What you do for us is that we're wallowing in our own thing, aren't we? And so you stop taking notice of what's actually in front of your eyes, because it's woe.
And also for us, we look at the fixtures ahead, and that's but that's the thing for us, isn't it? Forget about anything else.
That's burning your head out. But then again, like you said, I think the other day, Norwich coming to Goodison would have thought that's a defeat.
Yeah.
And they've gone and somehow.
Or they wouldn't have thought it was a defeat. It's about turning things around, isn't it?
It is, but I think in their mind that will have been one way.
But what's about mentality? Isn't that the whole point of mentality? Is turning something around. Their coach saying to them, lads, come back. We've just come back after an international weekend.
Fresh.
They've all been travelling all over. Their best players have been travelling all over the gaff. if we go in there with the right mentality and we stop them scoring the first 20 minutes, there's no reason why we can't win this. You turn it round, don't you? You turn that. Whereas we always seem to turn it the other way. Even when we went to Southampton, we were fearing the worst. They'd just been beaten 9-0. There's no way it can get worse for them. We're always turning the mentality, and this is all of us as a fan group as well. We're always turning the mentality against ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't go out. We should have gone out on Saturday as a club and gone, we're going to beat these today. From the vet, like we said on the final bit, first minute, get into them, get the crowd up. We're going to beat these today. We don't. We go looking for the negatives rather than the positives. And I think other clubs, they look at things differently, and that's the problem. Norwich come down to us, beating us 2-0, and they get their first away win of the season, and they deserve to win the game. They played their own football. They played tactically smart. They got the rub of the green on both goals. But like you said before, you deserve it sometimes. Great assist by Sigurdsson for the second.
Fair play to them. They had a goal, they won the game. I'd just like to see us go and win. Get an unlikely win somewhere.
We did, Southampton.
A proper unlikely win, like Sunday against Leicester, where everyone's expecting us to be battered. Go there and beat them 2-0. Have a rub of the green. But we wilt. And it is mentality, you're right. Our mentality, like I said before, seems to be an arrogance from our players, where it's like we'll walk around here instead of like having to run around and earn the battle, earn the right to win the game of football. And then your quality shows through. Too many games. Sheffield United was the same. Yeah. Walked out against Sheffield United. These are crap. I'll beat these. You're behind. It's that mentality. The best teams have the mentality of we have to battle for every game. Yeah. Mentioned it before. Mentality monsters. We want to win this game, and we're going to do everything we can to win this game. And, and if you do that from the very first whistle, a lot of times, certainly at home in the Premier League, you can have that game done at half three because there is a lot of average teams in that Premier League, without a shadow. Us being one of them.
God, I've just realised how many away wins there were this weekend. There was loads.
Everyone won away.
Yeah, Tottenham,
it's only City,
Wolves, Leicester, Liverpool, Norwich, and the next game, Burnley, 3-0 against Watford. 3-0.
Talking about when you're down there, Watford had 3 or 4 chances to score the first goal at the weekend. And missed a couple of gilt-edged ones. And then go behind to a corner, Yeah. Well,
Burnley are another one. They've got 18 points now. Won one more game than us, and have lost a couple less. And it's mad, isn't it? 4 points, and yet they're having... People look at them and go, having a great season. But that's the point. They've gone there. And, like you've just said there, they got a goal off a set piece. Then they get a penalty from VAR about 3 weeks later after it was... And then Watford mentally, again, we keep on using that word, mentally, are probably completely gone, and they get another goal off another set piece, and that's what but again, though, to be fair to Burnley, some weeks it works, some weeks it doesn't work, but when it works, and for a club like Burnley, you're going to get enough of those weeks that you're going to be fine. And again, that comes down to, I keep on saying it, it comes down to just believing in what you do. And the thing with them, and obviously with their manager, is it's never, when they get beat, they never sort of go overboard about it. And when they win, they never go overboard about it. At the end of the day, Burnley are quite happily chugging along, Andy. The manager, doesn't upset too many people. He says it how it is. People like him. And genuinely, I was looking the other day, today, seeing a list of the people, how much the value of each person who owns clubs.
Oh, okay.
And my share is about halfway. But their owner, I think, their owners is the worth like less than 100 million. Which in terms of like Premier League football clubs is just nothing. Nothing. No. Everyone's a billionaire. Everyone. I mean, we think our owner's rich. He's only halfway down. So it shows that they're doing really, really well.
They're stable, aren't they? Yeah. They know what they're getting. You know what they're going to be like when you play them. The style isn't going to really change. They're going to give you the game. The fans are down to earth, like enjoying Premier League football. Yeah. They win games.
Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose.
Exactly, and that's what you know. That's what you're getting from them, aren't you? And there's not none of that.
The last game of Saturday night, Manchester City taking on Chelsea at the Etihad.
Yeah. At where?
The Etihad.
The Etihad.
The Etihad. That's how you say it. That's how we people say it.
Oh, I was just asking.
Chelsea took a lead through Kante after 21 minutes. De Bruyne equalised 8 minutes later, bit fortuitous with a deflection, and then Mahrez got the winning goal in the 37th minute with a lovely finish. Never show inside. Never show inside. Never ever show inside.
Nope. That's the danger.
Good win for City. Chelsea being on a really good run. Obviously they're in fourth at the moment, but they've, City to come. Obviously their last game was against Liverpool, wasn't it? The defeat. Got injuries. They got another injury in this. Aguero's going to be out for weeks. I mean, it's all just mounting up, isn't it? But
Jesus, though, was a good goal scorer.
Yeah. But good win for City, this. And obviously they had the goal disallowed in the last minute through VAR, which is just nonsense. I mean, it's just. I know technically he's offside, but how can your back be offside? Like, what? You know what I mean?
It was his armpit, wasn't it?
Oh, whatever it was.
The whole thing is, if that's what we're saying, then fair enough. Can't argue with it, can you? But a lot of people and even rule makers are looking at it and going, is it right that it's like a millimetre of a shirt when he was, because he was directly in line with Zuma. It was an armpit, and it's like, is that offside?
Yeah.
That wasn't what offside was.
No.
So I don't know whether
I think they'll look at that.
They'll look at it and go, listen, we had the other year, it was the advantage to the attacker because we want more entertainment. Now you're getting punished if your shirt's blowing in the wind.
I was going to say, your shirt could have blown. Also, frames per second, people. Frames per second.
So, but no, a good win for City. Good response going behind. Chelsea have been in good form of late.
But Chelsea are only 2 points behind City. If Chelsea had won this, they would have gone above City. Yeah. That's the mad
Chelsea
thing.
have been on a great run. But they're still, I look at Chelsea and they're still vulnerable as well. But they will be because they've got good young players.
They've only lost 3 games.
Yeah.
They've only lost. It will be, I suppose it will be whether they get any injuries, like a lot of injury, not like a couple, but Kante's come back.
Important injuries.
Yeah, Kante's come back. They've been without him most of the season, so the fact that he's coming back now when they're comfortably in a nice 4th place, at the weekend they played. Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of experience. Still have a lot of experience at the weekend. Yeah. Midfield, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante, Zuma, Emerson, Aspilicueta, William all played. So there's loads of experience in that team. The likes of Mason Mount was on the bench. James was on the bench. Tammy Abraham started with Pulisic. So they've got a good balance.
Yeah,
Giroud never come off the bench again. Everton, Giroud, go and get him. Just saying. Him or Zlatan. Just saying.
Spurs have said he's not going there.
Because he's come to Everton, clearly. Clearly he's not. He's going to Milan. I'm only messing.
Yeah, so Chelsea doing well. They're just saving their 4th defeat for when they play us.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what it is?
We're going to beat them. 12:30 on the Saturday, December.
Yeah.
Against the odds. We'll beat them.
Like Phil Collins said.
Exactly.
Yeah, so City back to winning ways, although they're only in 3rd, which is mad.
They just got to, listen, for them, they've just got to stay on the tail of Liverpool until they get all the players back, Laporte and everyone, Otamendi, Sané, and hope that Liverpool experience the same kind of...
Well, Liverpool just, they're leaving their under-23s coach to do the League Cup.
Yeah.
When they go to the World Cup Championships, and that might be a period where, if they're going to have a wobble, that's going to be the period they're going to have the wobble, isn't it? You think about it. I mean, not only a wobble, but if Man City can win the games when they're away, and the gap mentally gets closed, if that gap closes mentally, and even if Liverpool have got that game in hand, it's little things like that you've got to try and get back on side. Winning a game, closing the gap. Then if Liverpool lose a game and suddenly becomes small...
City chased them down last year, didn't he, from 10 points at Christmas and caught them. So they'll both... Listen, it's going to go... Liverpool are heavy favourites.
Yeah, we've done a match.
Without a shadow.
We've done a match.
Without a shadow. But City have just got to try and stay on the coattails and see how far or how close they can get.
Sunday's game, Sheffield United played Manchester United. Sheffield United 2-0 up after an hour. Manchester United scored 3 very, very quickly out of nowhere. And then Ollie McPartland is the most Scottish name ever. Equalised in the 95th minute.
Although it was like 89, 87, 89, 57 or something. When
Sure?
But yeah,
Sure.
90th minute. Yeah. But
Technically.
Great game. Jags playing.
Great advertisement for the Premier League.
Full debut for Jags.
Classic Jags header that led to the Man United first goal. Yeah. Don't worry about where it goes, just get something on it.
Get something on it. But no, listen, United responded brilliantly. Sheffield United have been excellent this season. You know, they've come up, haven't spent money.
Consistent.
Very consistent. Got a way of playing.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Yeah.
Like you said about Burnley, it works more often than not. They haven't.
It does.
No one's tonked them.
No.
When they've lost, it's been by the odd goal.
Well, I'll tell you what their last few games have been. Sheffield United 3-3, Man United 1-1 with Tottenham, 3-0 beat Burnley, 1-1 with West Ham, beat Arsenal 1-0, drew 0-0 with Watford. So no defeats.
No defeats.
Well, one defeat
in 6 games, isn't it? So I've done all right, you know. And
sorry, no defeats. What am I talking? No defeats
in 6 games. So Manchester United have done well to put 3 past them because not many teams have done that. So you know, Liverpool went there and the keeper threw it in his net. And that was the only way they beat them.
They didn't have the goalie, did they either?
At the weekend.
Yeah, because he's on loan.
Because he's on loan. Yeah. So you know,
maybe that's why they conceded.
Maybe that's why they let 3 in. Yeah. So he's done well, Henderson. So. They're doing great. They're doing great. For United, it's very much stop-start for Man United.
But isn't it going to be? Because, I mean, look at the lads. You know, Williams scored second game.
Yeah.
Greenwood scored his first Premier League goal. Rashford, who's seen now as an experienced player, scored. You know, the Man United...
You see lots of similarities in Everton with them when you look at them.
Yeah, but I think the difference is that... I think the difference is that he's willing, he wants young players in the team. I don't think Silva wants young players in the team. I think he does it. I mean, I
think I suppose the similarities you meant was they're both crap.
Yeah, but I've got, you know, United, they've got Lindelof, Harry Maguire's captain already, Phil Jones played, Wan-Bissaka, Pereira, Fred, and then they got Williams, James, Rashford and Martial. So, plenty of youth in there. A strange mix. I think there's still players there that he'll want to get rid of if he's in charge. There's players there that he'll want to get rid of. You know, the bench: Mata, Grant, Lingard, Young, Greenwood, Garner, Tuanzebe. You know, there's
Garner.
There's a lot of young players in that Man United squad, and he's trying to get the youth into the side. Whereas with Everton, you feel like Silva's just trying to cling on to all those old players as much as he can, which I truly don't get. So it will have its ups and downs, and I think, but fans will buy into if you're trying to get young players into the team. They'll. It's difficult for Man United fans because of all the success, and since the success and it went, they've tried to buy the way out of trouble. Whereas Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is almost like, well, we'll buy some good players where we need it, centre back, right back, that kind of thing, like a spine. But I want to give the young players.
So would you just leave him if you were United?
Listen, I don't know because I'm like every other football fan, and if it was Man United, it'd be even worse. You want to find consistency. It's so difficult, but young players will never bring you consistency. But what they'll bring is, I mean, this is the most Man United game ever under all. You know, they're 2-0 down, then they score 3. In 7 minutes, and all you're saying then is shut the game out, see the game out, and then, you know, they can see the goal in the 90th minute. Slightly controversial because of the VAR and did it hit his arm? I mean, it didn't. But that is pure Man United. Whereas, you know, I'm just seeing the subs here. You know, they took Martial off with 5 minutes to go, and brought on a young defender, you know, 22-year-old defender, Axel Tuanzebe, who's played 2 games in the Premier League. Now that to me is mad. That to me is absolute madness. Now who are the other defenders on the bench? Young's on
Who's it? Swansea, is it him?
Young's on the bench.
Who's experienced.
Matters on the bench. That's mad. That's what I'd be fuming at.
Yeah, but then that goes against what you're saying with Silva, doesn't it? Because you're saying
Solskjaer's
trying to trust kids.
I'm not. Whoa. No, it's not. No, it's not whatsoever. Right. If your kids have just got you 3-2 up, then you show a bit of leadership and you say, right, you bring on a senior player. Do you really bring on a defender?
Well, he'll probably just think he was putting the next defender on to try and see it out. Every manager does it.
Mental. That's mental.
No,
that would drive me mental.
I'm saying, but managers do it.
Silver at Southampton, we were 2-1 up, and the last 5 minutes he brought Keane on. Fully understand that.
No, but I'm saying he'll look along the bench and go, well, he's a defender, so he can go on.
And that's why he's lost. That's why he's lost the win.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Do you leave him to make those mistakes, or do you replace him?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No, but you're saying what? That's what would drive me mad. That would drive me mad.
See, the sensible one is Ashley Young, and just say to Ashley Young, don't go forward.
Yeah.
Drop in and just
But use your head, use your experience.
Get that, because he dives, gets free kicks.
But what are those young players? All the young players who would have won that game would have got so much more out of that game. And would have gone, actually, we've won this game. Whereas the manager has lost them that game, I think. Not because, I mean, how many times, it happened to the madness for us. When we played West Ham in that game, that game, when he brought me ass on, Gareth Barry was sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And for the last 15 minutes, he should have just said to Gareth Barry, go on, play left back or whatever. Get your experience. We're 2-0 up. And see this game out with your experience. No.
Or leave Aaron Lennon on, because Aaron Lennon
was
causing problems.
So think about it like that.
No, I know.
So I just thought it was absolutely
madness
when you look like that. And the final game of the weekend, Aston Villa beat Newcastle 2-0. Goals from Houlihan and El Ghazi, 32 and 36. Quick hit goals. The worst thing.
First one was a free kick from Houlihan. Good free kick. Dubravka, no chance.
The win takes Villa equal points on Everton with 14, but better goal difference, so they've gone above. Newcastle a point ahead of both teams. So Everton have dropped the place on that from that point of view. Good win for Villa, only their fourth as well. They've got identical records, so Everton's just got a better goal difference because they scored 5 against Norwich, essentially.
That's it.
But good win for Villa. Poor for Newcastle after having a nice little run that had got them up the table, a couple of back-to-back wins.
They're going to have that, don't Newcastle, because they're not a good side. Yeah. You know, we've got a couple of decent players, but they're very average. Villa are average as well, but you'll get these results where these teams, it's getting the first goal, isn't it? We say it so many times.
But what it's mad is, I mean, just looking at the Premier League as a whole, Wolves are in 5th and they've got 19. Everton are in 16th with 14. You know, West Ham 13 points. Norwich, the bottom 3, Norwich have got 10, and Southampton have got 9, and Watford have got 8. Villa 14, Newcastle 15, Palace 15, Brighton 15, Bournemouth 16, Tottenham 17, Man United 17, Arsenal 18, Burnley, Sheffield United 18. 4 points between 6th and 16th. You know, going into December, mad.
What's frustrating is we could have won 2 or 3 more games, which we probably should have done, and been going into this tough run of fixtures now comfortably in the European positions. And being able to go with a bit of confidence and looking at these games going, well, you know what, we can take a point there and that's not a bad result there. But you start losing these next few, which looks likely, let's be honest, then you're in December, middle of December, and you're on a terrible run, playing tough games. But, you know, it means you're slogging for the second half of the season.
It's meant, again, it comes down to how you look at things or what your outlook is on things. You know, you mentioned Villa, they're winning. They've got the same points, but they'll have more of a positive outlook because they're, you know, not saying they're punching above the weight because they spent a lot of money, but they'll be looking at things going, well, a couple of wins. Whereas,
well, he just won the last game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As good as your last game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're for Everton, you're looking at the league table and then you look at the fixtures, and you can only see doom and gloom
Well,
ahead.
don't forget, we're the last game of the weekend as well on Sunday, 4:30, so teams above us and around us could have won, so we could be adrift. I know we're not going to be in the bottom 3, but...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
No, but that's it, isn't it? And a couple of teams are playing each other, but you never want down there, draws. I just want everyone to draw, bar us, and win. Because that's how it feels at the moment. And the league is mad. The league's absolutely, like you just said there, there's 5 points, or 6 points between 4th from bottom and 5th. 2 wins. It's berserk, absolutely berserk.
Aye, there you go, on that inspiring note.
Hey, we can only talk about the facts.
No, I know. I'm sitting here.
Inspired.
It's obviously sitting here slightly worried about things. There you go.
The time to worry is May.
It's not. The time to worry is now. No, it's not. I do not buy into this.
What good does it do you?
No,
worrying.
I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry. The football club need to worry because this is the time to make a decision right now. It's not about saying, oh, well, we're worried about May. Be worried now.
I don't need to be worried.
No, but be worried now because the situation as it stands is awful and it needs to be dealt with now. There's no point sitting here going, well, in May, whatever happens, happens. Because if
I don't need to be worried, that's what I'm saying.
You're
sitting here. I don't.
So you've got no fear at all about the situation Everton as a whole, regardless of what the table looks like?
I'm not worried about us getting relegated. No,
I am.
Because we only need 1 win in every 3rd game, and that was safe. So I don't worry about that. What worries me is the bigger picture, and it's not. It doesn't even play out for this season. It's what we're doing as a club going forward.
Yeah, but the bigger picture.
That's the worry for me.
The bigger picture has to be what's going on now, though. Because
I know, but we've done this million times.
No, I know we do, but I am worried.
You are a
because we're shite. Because not only are we shite, we haven't got players who've got any kind of ability to fight. They couldn't fight the way out of a wet paper bag. Our players, they're all shite, and that's why I am worried. Because I look at other clubs and I look at teams like Norwich who come to Goodison and roll us over because actually they've got a couple of players who do care and will fight. So I am worried.
I'm just saying to you that it's a long season.
No, it is a long season.
The biggest issue for me is not even relegation, is that the fact that it's December on Sunday and we're talking about being in a relegation fight again, having spent money. 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, we were here. 2 seasons ago, we had no manager. Southampton had just banged us, and we're sat talking about the same problem 2 years later.
And this time last year, we were just about to go into a horrendous 3-month run.
But we didn't know, did we?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This time last year, we were all sitting here going, oh, we look all right. We've just beaten Cardiff. But actually, we were just about to go into a horrendous 3-month run where I think we only won 3 games. So,
maybe it's the flip. Maybe this time we're going to go on to an unbelievable 3-month run.
Maybe we should just liquidate ourselves. I don't know. There we go. On that note, Premier League show. Back next week. Be interesting. See you then.
They'll be later on in the week.
Yeah, because there's 2 games next week.
It's that game.
See you later.